I am really excited to share this collection with you from Coach because this is not only one of my favorite Coach runway collections, but also one of the most collectible collections of handbags that Coach has ever done. Today we're talking about Coach's New York Fashion Week runway show bags from spring 2017. Why are we talking about 2017 when it's currently 2025? Well, that's because I've been doing a series on all of the Coach runway shows focusing on the bags in chronological order once a month, and we are up to spring 2017. And this is an amazing collection of bags. You will want to see them, and I have a surprise toward the end of the video because one of the most popular, most collectible styles from this show is making a comeback very soon. So you'll want to be aware of that to keep an eye out. So stay tuned. And welcome, I'm Autumn Beckman, and I'm here to help you live your most luxurious life within your budget. I post new videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so please make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of those and so you don't miss my daily community posts where I share the best sales of the day and fabulous handbags that I find, as well as other things, and I post those on YouTube, LTK, Instagram, and Facebook. I'll have all of those linked in the description box below so you can follow me everywhere you are. Also, don't miss my website, autumnbeckman.com/shop. That's where you'll find handbags and accessories I have for sale, as well as the My Handbag Collection Organizer. These are planner pages that I've designed to help you organize and curate your handbags and your life. The heart of which is the item tracker page. This is where you can record everything you'd want to know about your handbags and small goods. Plus, I have tons of other pages designed to help you record and organize your collections, be they handbags or something else. And I have calendar pages in a variety of formats so you can find what works best for you, as well as other pages designed to help you organize your life. Now let's jump right into this runway show because these bags are incredible. I think overall this was one of Stuart Vevers' best shows with Coach, so far anyway. Even though it was the spring 2017 show, it took place in September of 2016 because they happened 6 months or so ahead of the bags actually being released. The models for this show walked in a rectangle on this set that in the center of it has these old cars stacked on top of each other. They're all rusted out and fabulous. We won't talk about the clothing here, but the clothing is amazing too. All the layers, the textures. We see leather and studs and lace and sheer fabrics and fringe and spikes. It's so much fun. Lots of metal. And a lot of that is also reflected in the handbags. The overall theme is pretty much the same that we've seen from Stuart Vevers up till this point. And Stuart Vevers, of course, is the creative director at Coach for all of the runway shows so far. He is from England and he came over here to the US to be Coach's creative director. And he has a very obvious love and appreciation for Americana and particularly the American West. And I think more specifically the American Southwest. As you'll see in my analysis of some of the bags and the things that I've picked up on, I feel like a lot of his influence comes directly from the American Southwest. I feel like he's probably spent some time in Santa Fe, New Mexico and in the shops there and pulled ideas because there's so much artistic inspiration in that area. We definitely see influence from bikers out on the American roadways with the leather and studs. But I also see Native American influence in some of the silver work and design in the metal and in the fringe, although the fringe we see across several of these things I'm talking about. But I also see some Mexican influence in some of the art in these bags here, and I'll talk about that more later on in the video. Now, in terms of the bags themselves, like the styles of bags, previously we've seen maybe 3 to 5 different styles of handbags on the runway. These are bags that are completely different from each other, like the Rogue or the saddlebag or the Rider satchel. But in this show, every bag is a dinky. The dinky was originally introduced in 1973 by Coach's original creative director Bonnie Cashin, and Stuart Vevers reintroduced it prior to this show. If I remember correctly, correctly, it was in the fall 2016 runway show, but you'd have to go back and watch my previous videos to know for sure. And I will have a playlist of all of those linked below. But in this show, there are more than one version of the Dinky. And I will show you pictures in just a minute, but there's the kind of regular Dinky that Stuart Vevers reintroduced previously, but then there's also a smaller version called the Dinkier, and there's more of a square version, not sure the official name on that one. And there's this amazing one called the Double Dinky, which is two Dinkies back to back with a rogue top handle in the center. That is a fabulous bag, highly collectible. Now let's talk about how these Dinkies were designed, because basically they had a bunch of embellishments on them, and I've divided those into 7 different categories. And I've put these categories in order where I think they go from sort of most boring to very much most interesting. So make sure you stick around for all of it because it just gets better. And we'll start with the exotics. This I love so much. This is a piece of crocodile put on top of this Dinky with some lacing or whip stitching going down. I'm also going to tell you in this video, when I remember to do so, which of these bags were actually released for sale. And this is one of them. By the way, I'm going to link as much as possible in the description box below. I'll also do a pinned comment at the top of the comment section with all the links, because these are amazing bags and a lot of them are available, including this one. Now, some of the bags are going to be a few $100s, some will be over $1,000, because like I said, very collectible collection. But this is available. So if you love it too, check it out. Beautiful bag. And then the other exotic I saw was done in snakeskin. This is the Dinkier, the smaller size. And I saw this released in this green, but there's also a pink version. It's a bright pink. And I want you to notice something about this bag, some of the embellishments. So you'll notice that the straps on these, which are removable, are chains with the brown leather woven through. You see that across, I think, all of these bags. But also notice how they're styled for the runway. Every model, if I remember correctly, carried the bag like this, where that chain strap, which is a crossbody strap, is shortened. So they've got it held close to the bag, and then they have the chain wrapped around their wrist. They also have a bandana around their wrist, but you see that lock? They all had the lock too. Sometimes it's just on the bandana, sometimes it's just on the bag strap, sometimes it's on both. And what's interesting, as I was looking for bags to link for you guys, is I saw one of these not available, but previously available, so it had been released. They are out there somewhere, but there was one that did come with the padlock. I was not able to find any of the actual padlocks available for purchase anymore, but I think they're so pretty, and I think that would be a fun little thing to have on your bag or in a collection. So if any of you see one anywhere, let us know in the comment section, please. Also, I'm not sure how that opened. Did it come with a key, or was there some little button or lever you could press to get it to open it up once you've closed it? I don't know. Let us know. Also notice this giant metal hang tag. I didn't see any of those either available for purchase. I'm not sure if those were released. So if you know, let us know. Next, we see the introduction of this pattern. From what I've seen, these are called links. So this would be the Dinky link, which is kind of funny. These are little pieces of leather, and Coach used this pattern for a while on quite a few different bags, and they have lots of different colorways of these. I'm sure you've seen these before. So as far as I can tell, that originated in this spring 2017 show. And I think there was only that one on the runway. The runway pictures, I've told you guys this before, they tend to focus on the outfit and not on the bags. And so many of the pictures that I saw, the way the models were carrying the bags and, you know, they walk quickly, the bags had all turned, so all you saw in most of these pictures was the back of the bag. And in these videos, I tried to get the entire collection together and organize that and show you every bag in the show. But it was very difficult because of that to tell what bag was what, because I just saw the backs of so many of them. But I think I do at least have all the bag categories covered. These were also released. I'm calling these, and actually I don't know if these are Dinkies. I think they would be. They're just a different style of them. So they're a flap, but the flap doesn't go all the way down like it does on all the other ones. And then they have these straps with the buckles. There's this one that's black with the silver, but then there's also this one that has some other studs and a patch on it. And I can't tell if that patch is a boot or Louisiana. Also notice this bag, and you'll see this on others, They have long pieces of fringe with little studs on the bottom. That's something we've seen from Stuart Vevers on these runways for years, so that has continued into this show. And I would also have you notice on those buckles, they're not just like a smooth silver buckle. They have these little designs in them. And if we look at the next category, which I'm calling Western, you'll see that echoed, but in more detail on the hardware on these bags, particularly on the turn locks on the front, which are usually just a smooth oval. But now they have this metal work that reminds me very much of Native American jewelry in the Southwest, like turquoise and silver jewelry that you see in Santa Fe and surrounding areas. I keep saying Santa Fe because I've been there several times, but of course these pieces are available in many other places in the Southwest. But there's this black one that has that silver work and then the fringe. This one that has studs on the fringe and embroidery on the bag. That's so pretty. I did see one of these available, so it is linked below. Actually, most of the bags I'm showing you were released and are linked below. This one with the skull patch, no fringe here. This one in a brown suede with the fringe, and look at the fringe here. Not only does it have some studs, but it has spikes on some of them. I saw that on several of the bags that have fringe. I love that so much. This bag is amazing. And I would also point out the bag charm here. You'll see that on a lot of these bags. These are oversized tea roses done in leather and resin, and they have some of those studs all over each of the flowers. These and a few different versions of these were released, so I will have those bag charms linked below. And there's this amazing bright green version. This looks like a smaller one, so it's probably the dinkier, but that suede is so luscious. Category 5 is tea roses. Now, tea roses were introduced to handbags in spring 2016, and Stuart Vevers has continued using them on these dinky bags. And this is where we see more variety in the shapes of the dinkies. Here we have a more square shaped one with the flowers, with the fringe. And also notice that these tea roses are more embellished than what we've seen before. And they'll get even more embellished than this. In the past, they've been just leather, and there would be a stud here and there. And there have been layers, sometimes one piece of leather, sometimes two stacked on top of each other. But here we have leather and we have metal flowers. And some of those are curved out so they have dimension. These are just beautifully done. Here's one of those double dinkies, two dinkies back to back with the rogue handle in the center, done with the tea roses. And if you look carefully at the center of some of these tea roses, you can see that some of the pistons, is that what they're called on the flowers? They're studs, spiky studs. Ouch, and I love it. This one mostly white. This one of my favorites because it's green and it has the fringe and all those flowers. This one, if I remember correctly, is the one that I saw for sale with the padlock. Not available anymore, but it was sold with the padlock. This is a terrible picture, but it's all pink and it has the fringe and the studs on the fringe. This pink one with fewer flowers, but they're really big and bold. Ignore the bag charm for right now, we'll get back to that. And then this one, which appears to be black with pink flowers, you see hanging from the flowers, there are all these chains and different stringy things. So much embellishment. I love this. All the detail is amazing. This particular kind of tea rose pattern was called wild tea roses. So I have some of those linked below as well. I had never seen them or never noticed that before until I was researching for this video, and I just think that's amazing. Do any of you have some of the wild tea roses with all the extra embellishments? They're gorgeous. Okay, category 6. This is my favorite one. This category has one of my holy grail Coach bags in it, and I think that's probably true for some of you as well who know about these bags. These are called the Beatnik Rivet bags. They're absolutely covered front and back in these little studs in silver tones, brassy tones, circles, hearts, stars. And these are some of the most collectible and sought after Coach bags. They're also quite expensive. On the Preloved market, I do have a few of them linked below, but there aren't that many available because people snatch them up even at these prices. On the Preloved market, expect to pay at least $1,000 for these bags. I have a double dinky in the beatnik rivets that I saw priced at about $2,000. So they're for the collectors. This one is amazing in the green with the fringe, with the studs. I love it so much. This red one that's more square shaped was also on the runway. That's one I haven't seen, or the square shaped bags. I'm not sure if those were actually released because I haven't come across them, but that doesn't mean they weren't. So let me know if you know in the comment section, please. And I have some very exciting news for you in just a second. But for me, I wanted to say that these little, what they're calling beatnik rivets, and actually I saw on one of Coach's listings that they were called biker rivets. So did they use two words? Where did the beatnik word come from? I don't know, but they're generally known as beatnik. Anyway, they remind me of Mexican milagros, like my necklace. This one right here, which are often found on hearts and crosses. They're these little metal trinkets in tons of different shapes, like infinite different shapes. And they're used to cover objects for decor or for altars. I've always loved these and found them really beautiful. You definitely see them in Mexican shops, like I would see them in Houston in Mexican shops there, or San Antonio, or again, Santa Fe. And that is immediately where my brain goes for what influenced Stuart Vevers to make these bags. It would really surprise me if that's not where the idea came from. Now here's the very, very exciting news. I just told you these beatnik bags, hard to find, incredibly expensive, collector's items. This winter, this bag is supposed to drop. I've heard it will be December. The tabby bag in what I would call a re-release of the beatnik rivets. So if you love these as much as I do and as much as a bunch of other people do, you will have another chance very soon to pick up one of these bags, but in the tabby style. And by the way, Coach also released a Rogue with the beatnik rivets. Linked below, and yes, still very expensive. But isn't that exciting about the tabby? Really looking forward to that. In fact, there are lots of amazing new tabbies coming, so keep an eye out. Follow me on my social media if you're interested in grabbing one of these bags, because some of them are going to sell out immediately. That one being one, I would bet. There was a beaded one released just the other day that sold out within a few hours. And I say follow me because I post those things. I look at all these sites where Coach is sold several times every day, and when I see new things pop up, I immediately put them onto my socials with links so that you guys can be made aware that they are available and you can jump on it and buy it. So socials are linked below. Okay, last category. This is a fun one. It's not my thing, even though I love the bags. They're pretty amazing. But the last category is Elvis. And again, the way some of these are done that look like they're using milagros, what they're calling beatnik rivets. Some of it looks a little bit like Mexican altars to me. Kind of like Day of the Dead altars where person's picture is up and then there's all kinds of fun decorative things around that. So that's where we come back to that bag charm I told you to ignore earlier. By the way, there are several of these bag charms available linked below, but expect to pay a couple $100s for them. I'm not sure why Stuart Vevers decided Elvis should be on Coach bags. I know a lot of people love him and his music. Personally, I've never cared that much, but it's fun. It's certainly Americana, right? Pop culture. But yeah, part of the Elvis collection here is this bag charm and this one, which has the silver work that reminds me of Native American jewelry. Gorgeous. I have not found this piece available for sale, but that is one just because of the metalwork there that I might even consider buying because I think it's so beautiful and unique. But then there are the bags. Most of the Elvis pieces here are handbags and they are just incredibly embellished bags. So let me just flip through these and you can try to take them in. There's this one with stuff all over it and this red heart that says Elvis. This one, definitely my favorite and the most embellished. So this it combines so many things we've already seen. We've got the beatnik rivets, we have the metal tea roses, there are patches, there are trinkets hanging off all around the bag that mirrors the fringe we've seen a little bit, but there's not fringe. That is just such a cool bag. And by the way, I have a friend who's on Instagram and TikTok, goes by the name Koby, but he has different names on each of those channels. I'm gonna link him below because he and some other people just got to go to the Coach Archives in New York, and he posted a video where they got to see this Elvis collection and many of the Beatnik rivet bags in person. So make sure you go check out that video if you like these bags. It's pretty amazing. Turn the sound on and then follow him to TikTok and Instagram. There's also this one with Elvis's picture and these yellow flowers that are embroidered and the studs. This red one with, is it lace or ribbon, crystals and studs and all kinds of things going on there. And then the more square shaped one again with the yellow flowers, pictures, all kinds of trinkets and things. Plus an Elvis t-shirt, because why not? So you can check that out. You can check out the links for almost everything I showed you in this video today, bags and bag charms. All those links are in the description box below the video. I'll put some of them in a pinned post as well. Plus, please remember to follow my socials so you can get updated on new releases and sales and all the things, Coach and otherwise. And let us know in the comments section below, do you have any bags from this spring 2017 runway show? And if you do, which ones? Or do you have any of them on your wish list? Are any of these your holy grail bags like the Beatnik ones are mine? Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Hope to see you back here next time, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.